What is Gear 2? Okay, that's where I'm at in the storyline, and I really need to know that answer, but let's explain where we are and what this is. Welcome to the Mangastorian channel. I'm Benny. I run a channel called Comicstorian, where I do audio dramas of comic books. But in all the years that I've been doing Comicstorian, I've also read manga and tried to launch Mangastorian 21 times or something stupid like that. Now Mangastorian exists where I just read and react to stuff and give you my opinions on what is going on in the world of manga. As a part of that, I have started the One Piece Reading Club. That's basically me reading One Piece for the very first time. I've had no experience with One Piece, never seen the anime, watched one movie, One Piece read, and that's all I ever did before getting into the manga. We are now on chapter 350, going to 388. And once again, I want to reiterate, I am reading the manga. I'm not watching it, although I will probably be watching that Gear 2 fight because that was cool and I want to see Luffy doing that in anime. This particular segment of chapters is the beginning of Enies Lobby, and I decided to stop at 388 because of one of you guys. Over on our Patreon, which we give early access to Comicstorian videos, we had a fan reach out to us and say if I was going to break up Enies Lobby, I should do it at 388 because at 389 to the ending is just one non-stop roller coaster. 388 is the perfect breaking point, and I agree. It was a great stopping point, but it also left me with a lot of questions. Now, because these chapters are all about the fight, so the Rocket Man train is now barreling into Enies Lobby, and we're going to go there, I feel it might be best to go over my reaction to each individual crew member and what they did. Because there's a lot of jumping around here, and it was a little difficult to follow in general, like, not what was happening, but the order in which it all actually happened. Because you would do stuff with Luffy as he lunged himself in. We'd bounce back to Zoro and Sanji having a lot of fun. Then we'd cut over to Nami and she discovered more power than she had. Then we'd go over to Usopp as Sniper King. And then we would cut back to Luffy. Then we'd cut back to Zoro. Then we'd go to Usopp. It's kind of hard for me to remember where everything happened in the timeline. So I'm going to talk about my reactions to every single character at this point. And this ends with the Gear 2 reveal. So that's where we're up to at this point. Where we are in the One Piece storyline is Nico Robin has been kidnapped with Frankie. They are both being brought over to Enies Lobby so that they can throw Robin into the pit with Frankie and basically get rid of the problem. They want to get rid of them because they're the only two people that can understand the ancient weapons and build the ancient boat and do all this stuff. Band-Aid Man, which I think is Sandem or whatever, the guy who's got a bunch of bandages over his face, has used CP9, an incredible, powerful group of like Black Ops individuals with the world government, and has dragged over Nico and Frankie to this location so that he can throw Robin and Frankie into the thing, but also make them realize what they've done wrong. Robin is against the group right now because she was threatened with a buster call. Basically, she agreed to work with CP9 and go to the world government if they didn't use a buster call on Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates. And the reason why she decided to do this is she is traumatized from her childhood where the entire island was destroyed by a buster call. So we'll just start with her and Frankie. So they're basically tied up, and Band-Aid Man is basically stating that they're now going to kill Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates. Robin is like, how could you do this? We made an agreement. And he said, no, I made an agreement that I wouldn't buster call Water 7. They're now here, so we're just going to kill them. She gets really upset over this whole situation, but she's got her hands tied up and she can't do anything about it. And they're doing something to suppress her Devil Fruit. Not quite sure what it was, but she can't use her Devil Fruit power either way. And Frankie is just, probably doesn't have cola, can't do anything. So they're kind of bound up, and their reaction to everything going on is kind of like mundane, because I feel like at this point, they're just standing there waiting for things to happen, and the reason why Band-Aid Man isn't getting involved, as we discover towards the end of these chapters, is the phone was off the hook. So he didn't know that everyone was getting beat up on Enies Lobby. So let's cut over to the main crew, because I'm going to get to Luffy, because Gear 2, what is Gear 2? But anyway, that's ADD, I'm all over the place. Let's get back over to Zoro and Sanji. Zoro first stage, just sat there prepping this crazy attack to get into the fight. They're fighting I think it said it's 2,000 soldiers on Enies Lobby. They're fighting against them. No, there's more than 2,000. They took out a total of 2,000. Luffy takes out 1,000 by himself, and then everyone else takes out another 1,000. But I loved Zoro and Sanji, because Zoro and Sanji end up landing on the island, and no one knows who Sanji is, but the bad guys know who Zoro is. So that becomes their back and forth. They're both just incredibly powerful, taking out so many soldiers, doing so many different things. And then you on top of that have them going back and forth. Oh, they're looking for you, Zoro. Yeah, well, they don't even know who you are, random pirate number A. It was just so much fun to see them going back and forth. I love Sanji and Zoro in this storyline up to this point. Zoro's still my favorite. Sanji's a clear second. And now Luffy's just, I don't know. Luffy's awesome. And Nami, the whole crew is great. The only one I don't like is Usopp. And luckily, Usopp is out of the crew because we got Sniper King and he's so much cooler than Usopp. I hope you got the joke there. I like Usopp as well. Zoro and Sanji are just working their way through. They're taking out a bunch of the guards and stuff like that. On top of that, we also have the Frankie crew, and we got a little bit of a backstory behind the two giant king bulls that are with the Frankie crew. The king bulls are being attacked by so many people, and they're being taken down. We find out that they were actually inside of a Neptunia's stomach, and Frankie kept them around because he just wanted to keep them around because he, in his words, backup rations, but they just took care of them like their own pets. The two bulls get blasted by the Enies Lobby army. They're getting taken down. Sad moments are happening all around. They were there. They were great. But while Sanji and Zoro are doing their thing and the bulls are charging in, and like I said, this is weird because I got to like 380 and all the chapters was just fight after fight after fight after fight. So it's hard to like pinpoint individual moments that happened because so much was going on. But while that was happening, we also discovered that Nami learned a new tier of her, I guess, weather batons, where the lightning got out of control and she just blasted everyone. Didn't quite know what she was doing. So her power level just scaled way the hell up. Zoro's over there taking out a ton of guys. Sanji's taking out a ton of guys. Nami now blew up a whole bunch of people. Seriously, this whole chapter, this whole Enies Lobby is just everyone learning everything that they had prior to this and just coming in just crazy, attacking everyone, trying to save Robin. It is awesome. But then, I'm like, well, where's Usopp? I mean, Sniper King. Where's Sniper King? Well, it turns out Sniper King didn't get on the train for the charge because Sniper King got held up by the two giants that Enies Lobby had on the team. Come to find out, the two giants from before, the tribe leaders, turned out to be their tribe leaders, and these giants were looking for the other giants. And the world government convinced these giants to protect Enies Lobby for 50 years because they claimed that they had the tribe leaders inside of Enies Lobby and they would let them go if they protected the island for 50 years. Usopp, since he became really good friends with both giants, is talking to the Enies Lobby giants. And so, like you guys said, the giant story came back because now Usopp has these two giants that they got to convert and join the assault. So we got two giants, two king bulls, we got Frankie's army, we got the Straw Hats all leveling up and getting crazy awesome. And at this point, I'm just super hyped and enjoying every chapter. But like I said, once again, a lot of small moments weren't happening. It was a lot of just getting the fights out of the way and moving on. I probably should just watch this whole segment in the anime just to get better stuff with the fights. But this brings us to the best part of all of this, Luffy. Okay, so up until now, Luffy got his butt handed to him by CP9. CP9 showed up in the last stuff, kicked Luffy out. He got wedged between two buildings, broke down both buildings, got on the Rocket Man. When they were approaching, they were coming up with a plan. That was going to be Zoro and Sanji doing the leap in. That was going to be the King Bulls going in and charging the walls. That was Nami helping out, and Sniper King did his own thing. I mean, Usopp did his own thing, and that's how we got the Giants. Luffy launched himself into the battlefield before anything, and then proceeded to just take out 1,000 soldiers all by himself, shouting and looking for Robin, which already is awesome, okay? But then he fights against Blueno again. Now, Blueno is the guy who has these like cow horns on his head, and the Blueno fight from before was very quick. Blueno's using these crazy abilities that CP9 has and just destroyed Luffy. Well, the two of them fight again. Blueno shows up, begins to battle against Luffy. I loved seeing Blueno's abilities in action because he's got the door fruit, so he can open up doors anywhere. So he's opening up doors beneath Luffy's feet, he's opening doors behind Luffy's, and then he made a door out of Luffy's eyes. And they're just spinning on rotation until Luffy can shut the door. It was just hilarious. But Luffy, realizing that he lost to Blueno last time, has decided that he's going to up the ante. And steam starts rising off of him, and he goes into Gear 2. And I was like, what is Gear 2? What I started this video with, what is Gear 2? He gets insanely overpowered, decimates Iron Body, decimates all the other abilities that CP9 can do. And my favorite is, at the end, because they made it so it was like one chapter. Gear 2, he fought against Bluno for like 4 chapters with the door stuff. And then we get the one chapter of Gear 2 and he drops Bluno. And it's like, oh, Gear 2 is powerful. But I loved this. He hits Bluno as hard as he can with Gear 2. And Bluno's original reaction is to just stand there. He's like, oh. And Luffy's like, all right, well, I'm going to show you Gear. I'm assuming he was going to say Gear 3. I don't know, but he was going to show him something cool because as he says Gear, Bluno falls to the ground and passes out. And it was like, okay, was it Gear 3? Are there more gears? How many gears do we have? I don't know the answers to these questions. And now I really want to know the answers to these questions because now I'm picturing this like Dragon Ball Super where it's like, okay, we got Super Saiyan. We got Super Saiyan 2. We got Super Saiyan 3. We got Blue. We got Rosé. We got Ultra Instinct. We got Silver. We got Red Monkey Man. Like, there's just 101 different transformations for Luffy? I don't know. And then we ended that moment with him just calling out to Robin that he's on his way to save Robin. This whole sequence was awesome. Annie's lobby so far is amazing. And now I'm going to read 389 to 430 on my way to San Diego Comic-Con. So I will have that one for you guys next week. I'm just super hyped. I'm super excited. I know I felt like I was rambling there. I was trying to keep it as on point as I can by talking about the individual members since we were doing the bounce around battle thing again, which I've come to realize is what One Piece does. So I think I'm going to do it this way moving forward. We'll talk about all of the Zoro, all the Sanji, all the Nami, and then all the Luffy. But I hope you guys enjoyed my excitement on this. I do want to cover a couple of things here. First off, if you're ever wondering why there's a delay in the One Piece videos, it's simply because I got overloaded with work elsewhere. I love doing these Mangastorian videos. I love having interactions with you guys about manga. But sometimes Comicstorian or the other business stuff we're doing, sometimes that gets in the way. Mangastorian is like the third priority on the list. It goes Comicstorian, it goes the Absolutely podcast series, and then it's Mangastorian. Then it's the Gaming Lore and the Dungeons & Dragons channels. I do those after Mangastorian. So I do apologize for those of you who ask me whenever I put out a video in the middle. The other reason why I don't just do all One Piece videos is simply put, I don't want Mangastorian to just be One Piece videos. I want to try other ideas. Anime and manga culture, try out different manga, talk about Dragon Ball, Chainsaw Man, that kind of stuff. But it has led me to realize you guys seem to enjoy my reactions to your favorite series, like One Piece. So what other long series do you think I should start alongside One Piece? Because now that San Diego is over, I'm going to have August, September, October, and December, and November, that's in there somewhere. I'm going to have all those months where I'm going to be sitting around, and I could read a lot more One Piece so we can get more of these videos out, but I could also start up another long series, probably like September. And I'd like you guys to kind of give me a bunch of options, and then I'm going to put a vote up on our community tab and on our Discord. So I'll give you the links to those as well so you can help decide the direction of where we're going with Mangastorian. You guys seem to like these read-alongs. I like doing them, but we're still going to continue talking about Chainsaw Man and My Hero and Berserk and all this kinds of stuff. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to cover there. Oh, and lastly, for those of you who leave the comment, because I love commenting on some of these fun videos where they're like, you missed so much. Let me specify something. I'm not actually missing as much as you guys think when I'm reading the manga. What happens is I read 5 to 10 chapters in a sitting, okay? And that is spread out normally. Sometimes I'll do 2 chapters, but it's a lot of times 5 to 10. That is spread out over the course of a week. It's not that I'm missing things. What it is I'm reading it over the course of a week. And what I'm giving you are the things that stood out to me enough to either write a note or it stood out. I can't remember every single panel that I read. It's just not going to happen. So I'm giving you the highlights that I enjoyed because I assume that's what you want and you don't want me to just go beat by beat for the story because all of you seemingly have read One Piece or watched One Piece. So I just wanted to say that real quick. Either way, thank you guys for your continued support. I do apologize that this is a little bit shorter of a One Piece video, but don't worry. Our next segment of chapters is 45 chapters long. I'm going to have quite a bit to say and I'll be making a lot of notes. I'm Benny, this is Mangastorian. Let me know what mangas you want me to start looking into to add to our vote, and I'll see you next time.